Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you sublift on this metal mix. I'm going to be showing it on kick and bass, and maybe we'll play around with it on snare. If you haven't checked out last week's overview on sublift, I'd recommend to go check it out so you can familiarize yourself with each mode that you have access to. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be using sublift on is on kick. Let's go ahead and hear what we're working with in the context of the mix. So it's a slow kick at first, and then it moves into some faster double bass parts. So we want to make sure that we enhance the low end, but not too much to where it becomes unruly and really unusable. So let's go ahead and play around with this. I am in lift mode currently at 60 hertz. That's where my kick and the kick sample that I'm using right now is where all the low end is. So let's go ahead and emphasize that a little bit. Obviously, whenever I push it to 90, 100%, that's kind of that effect I was telling you guys about in the fast part that I'm not looking for. I don't want that kind of basketball-esque effect. I want it to enhance and emphasize the low end and not overtake it. Also, we can use the delta feature and the button right here to see how much processing we're doing. Let's go ahead and listen to that. I like it around the 50 to 55% mark. Let's go ahead and bypass it before and after, and then listen to it in the mix and see if that's the effect that we want to use. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's listen to it in the mix. To my ears, that sounds like a more rounded off kick drum, and it's matching the energy that the top end has, and it's evening everything out across the spectrum. If I were to go to sub mode, I think that that would be a little bit too powerful for it, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you guys so you can kind of hear the difference between sub and lift. Too much. In this instance, lift is what I'm really looking for. It's enhancing the power of the kick without making it overbearing like sub did. So let's go ahead and move on to bass. All right, so in this instance, I have a bass main channel and a bass sub. So I kind of have a hint that we're not going to be really looking to enhance the sub anymore since I already have the sub track existing. But let's go ahead and listen to the part and kind of play around with sub lift and see what we can do. All right, let's just kind of play around with the frequency slider. I'm sort of thinking that the bass could use a little bit more low mid energy. Right now it's leaning really low and subby, so let's see if we can even this out a little bit. All right, I promise I'm not biased on lift, but in this instance at 250 hertz, lift is just really filling out the frequency spectrum in a way that's pleasing to my ears. So let's listen to it in the mix and make any further adjustments that we might need. So really the only adjustment needed is the output needed to come down a little bit, which is understandable. Whenever you're raising the intensity of something, the volume's going to spike just a little bit. So you always want to be conscious of that and adjust accordingly. All right, for this example with the snare, I moved to the second half of the chorus. That's where I'm getting a good amount of snare hits at, and this will allow me to adjust sublift in a way that I think enhances the snare easier and faster. So let's go ahead and solo this snare master out. My snare master is just snare top with a snare sample, snare bottom, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and hear what we're working with. You can see whenever I play that, my snare is peaking around 200. It's that typical arena snare sound. So let's see if we can enhance that a little bit. We'll try sub first. Let's try 180. Try to get a little bit more of that low end punch. See how lift sounds with it? Let's play around with this in the context of the mix. So in this instance and in this far into the mix that I am, my snare drum already has a lot of low end energy and it's hitting the speakers the way that I would want my snare drum to hit. So in this instance, I probably wouldn't opt to keep sublift on my snare, but if your snare is sounding thin or if it's lacking that low end thump in around the 180 to 220 hertz area, this would be a perfect solution for you to add instant energy to your snare drum. All right, and those are just a few great examples of ways that you can use sublift creatively in the context of your mix. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll be sure to answer them. Thanks for watching.